All right, man. Recording is going. So welcome everybody to our builders call. Thank you for plugging in. This is the call where we go over building concepts, building a business, working your way out of a full-time job in sales. And well, I tell you, man, it's been fun. There's a lot of aspects to sales that I really love. The thrill, the kill, just that idea of nailing one. There's just something about it. It kind of goes beyond money too. So I don't know if you guys ever kind of had that sense or feeling of, what the kind of the journey here. I always like to look at kind of the long term. It's tough to live by short-term decisions because they never really sometimes produce long-term results. You gotta make long-term decisions, which then produce the short-term things that you got to do in order to make the long-term things happen. And nothing is more true than, as I've got involved in retirement planning, you can say, well, Alex, what do you mean retirement planning? You're not a certified financial planner. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Nor do I play one on TV. Okay, but it's got me in this different world, which has really been very insightful for me in just a really huge way. So let me kind of share with you kind of modified the IUL presentation a few times. Come on, there we go. So this is, there's many images of the the financial pyramid. Okay, it's the concept in financial planning where you look at the base of the pyramid is safety, security stuff, and the top of the pyramid is wealth building, like stocks, mutual funds, kind of the play money to grow your wealth. But somewhere in between is the safety stuff that you got to lay the foundation for. So your financial security plan, your plan here at the bottom, makes everything else run. And it's the financial security plan that encompasses everything above it, right? Everything above it is supported by the plan that you put in action. Starting with your will and power of eternity. Yeah, we're talking about eternity too. So this is the financial pyramid here on Earth. I think this is a financial security plan. There's one underneath this, we won't get into that, but that's your eternal plan, after this life's over. But your will, your power of attorney, that was probably an intentional slip right there. That so cracks me up. Oh, really? Yes, I'll email it out. Yeah, similar. Okay, good. I'll get this out to everybody. It is, well, this version is probably not on the agent resources on the website, but I will make it available to everybody. Because it's a good way of kind of thinking about your financial life. I mean, really, because the building blocks, so your will, your power of eternity. Okay, so it's the foundation. Now, this stuff in the light blue are things out of your control, events out of your control. These are the risk things that you need to mitigate in order to have a solid foundation in your financial plan, like becoming dependent. What does that mean? Becoming dependent upon unemployment, becoming dependent because you physically can't take care of yourself, all kinds of things, disability, chronic and critical illness, things that you can't take care of yourself, whether you're young or old. I mean, all kinds of catastrophic things could happen in your life. What kind of plan do you have should those things happen to you? You know, you have a higher chance of becoming disabled prior to age, I think, 55 than you do of dying. So disability and being incapacitated is a high percentage chance. It's amazing. Well, there's the suffering health issues, you know, cancer, heart attack, stroke, the top 3 killers after age 44. Premature death, so by illness or accident. The #1 cause of death under age 44 is accidental death. So, you know, I mean, you really ought to have an accident policy on your kids. Like, I'm not kidding. Remember in driver's ed in high school, like that's when we had, Ohio's, I guess, different because you have to go to a private tutor for class for driver's ed. But in California, we had driver's education, and it was in high school. And we were in this big theater, this academic theater, might have been 150 kids in there taking driver's ed, the first class. They said, you know, 3 of you before your senior year are going to be dead. Sure enough, it was more that were killed in car accidents of the class that were in that room. I mean, it's just statistics, right? Premature death, suffering serious illness. Okay, so health issues are the chronic stuff, the critical stuff, serious illness like COVID, like, you know, something you can catch from somebody else, and then becoming disabled. Okay, so there's disability things. Those are the things that could happen to you that you cannot control, which then impact your ability to earn income, doesn't it? Right? So not only do you have to deal with the health issues regarding these things, but you got to deal with the inability to earn income, right? So what plan do you have in place? Like, y'all need to ask your question, what plan do you have in place should you become disabled? You're applying Social Security disability, which they deny like 90% of applications just because they want to see who's really serious, right, about getting disability. And then you have to reapply again with a lawyer just so you can like force your way into the disability system. So is that going to be something you're going to need to do? Or do you got a disability policy, okay, that should have something happen to you? You got money coming in, money flowing. You know, you got basic operating expense policies if you're a business owner, if you become disabled, where your operating expenses on your business continue on so you can continue to build your business. So fortunately, a business like this, when you're building it, you can do it with your voice as long as you don't lose your voice. Man, you could be paralyzed from the neck down and still recruit and build this business. You know what I mean? Anyway, things out of your control. The yellow area are the things that you can't control. You can control education savings for your children. You can control your home and what you do in your home, whether you have a rent or own, your retirement savings. Okay, notice this is in this yellow block, which is safe. Emergency cash, personal savings, debt reduction, all these things are in your control and not subject to market influences. That stuff is up here. Estate preservation. So estate preservation is more that estate planning, right? So when you build an estate, when you build your wealth and build your savings, okay, how are you going to pass it on to the next generation? Are you going to do it tax-free? Are you going to bypass probate? Do you have a trust, right? Do you have these things? See, this is different than a will, okay? But it's part of a will. It is hand in hand with a will, but do you have a way to preserve your estate so you minimize what the government takes away before your heirs get it? So what kind of plan do you have in place to move your assets onto the next generation? Then finally, increasing wealth. So these are growth opportunities. These are your stocks. These are your mutual funds. These are those things that you're willing to risk in order to grow your wealth greater than, than an index policy, right? Than index policy. Now, I'm big on index policies because index policies, like Warren Buffett says, it's the best thing to own is something that's in an index fund, right? Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. This is where we operate as insurance agents. This is why we still can advise people on their retirement savings. We have the authority because we're licensed in safety vehicles, indexed annuities, indexed universal life, to be able to help people plan for their retirement with the safety money that they can't afford to lose, right? Now, these financial planners, they work up in here in this dark blue area, okay? And I always tell the people that I'm counseling is that I don't work in the blue. I don't have anything bad to say about the people that work in the blue. I just don't have a stomach for putting other people's money at risk. Okay, it's just not my thing. I'd rather keep your money safe. I'd rather watch your retirement savings grow and your retirement plan working for you than have to explain to you why my recommendation lost half your 401k or lost half of your IRA because I recommend you put it in these vehicles, then the market crashed. And then what I will tell you, if I were one of those guys, is, hey, that's the market. Remember, the market's long-term. The market has grown long-term, but here I'm going to be begging you to stay with me. I'm one of those guys. Like, how much money have you lost in the market in your life, right? So I tend to do what is safe. I tend to recommend indexed products, index annuities, index universal life, things where their money will grow, when the market grows, but it will never go down in the times when the market went down, like between 2000 and 2002, or between 2007 and 2008, or between 2017 and 2018, and then, what happens 2020, right? I mean, so the green line's the index line, right? So Alex, why are you going over this? What does this have to do about building? I'm glad you asked that question, okay? Because my question for you, again, continues with, what do you have as far as emergency cash? What do you have in retirement savings? What have you put away? What are you doing to solidify your retirement? Do you yourself have an index universal life policy that you're putting money away, right, every month that goes to your cost of insurance and goes into your cash value to grow your cash value tax-free so you can access it tax-free? What are you doing? Okay, what are you doing to solidify your ability to earn income without having to rely on your own personal ability to produce it? Okay, how are you building your wealth? What are you doing up in here? Are you putting anything at risk? Okay, see, when I talk to people, because these products are products people don't even know about, like Roth IRAs. How many people know about Roth IRAs, where you grow your money, where the government gives you a break? You can put your money away tax-free. I mean, you put your money away after tax into vehicles that are called Roth IRAs. You have up to $6,000 a year you can put in, and after age 50, $7,000 a year. Do you have a vehicle that you can take advantage of tax-free income in the future, because that money's not taxed in the future? It's amazing how many people don't know about it. And it's like Roth has been around for what, 20 years? Like a long time, and people don't know about it. And I'm telling people, well, if the government's going to limit what you put in it, do you think it's probably a good thing? Like, anytime the government limits, like Index Universal Life, the government limits by the 7-pay rule, the seven pay rule of your premiums. You can't put more in it or it'll be a mess. That's how the government limits IULs. So IULs must be good. The government limits how much you can put in a Roth. So who cares they limit it? Are you maxing the limit out? What are you doing? Okay. So again, going back to what does it have to do with building the business? Do you know what kind of asset value you're creating when you build a business that produces override income and renewals, and then earning overrides on people's renewals? Like, I don't think we talk about this enough. And I think we just really need to talk about this more. I like how that does. I like how that works. That's kind of cool. The camera does like a quick, I know, you're probably like thinking, I'm not doing any of those things. Okay, that's all right. That's why I tell my clients, like, hey, it's okay. Let's just get you on the right track. You know, I like to say it's never too late, but sometimes it is too late for some people. Okay. And again, I need to do my what it takes to retire talk. I haven't updated the numbers, but anyway. So when you build this business, okay, when you build an asset, okay, this is your agency. Okay. And then, so this represents your overrides, okay, and your overrides on renewals, all right? ORON, overrides on renewals. Okay, and then this is personal production. Okay. This is immediate income. Right, which also produces renewals. Okay, the renewals are not a small thing. All right. And so what are you doing with this? With the income that you're earning here, where's this money going? Because that's what we're talking about, right? Are you only making enough just to cover your nut? Okay, you got your nut, which you need to live every month, okay? And we just pray to God that you're at least making this to cover your nut. Or maybe your spouse is working and she can cover your nut, right? What else can you do with this money? You can build your agency, right? You can invest in building your override and override on renewals on your agency, okay? The other thing is, okay, we're talking again, this place right here, okay? The other things you can do are you investing in an IUL? Do you have a Roth IRA using like the National Life Group product? Because National Life Group products, you can put in a monthly payment and grow that, okay? IULs, they're fairly liquid, right? Do you have the emergency fund? Okay, what is that? Depending on who you talk to, some people say 6 months of your expenses to live. Some people go as high as 12 months, which that would rock, in something liquid that you can access like right now. Something happened to you, boom, you can dip into it and boom, you got it, right? This is your emergency fund. This is your future, okay? This is your future. Is there risk here? Can you lose money? Yeah, you could if you do it wrong. Like you could in personal production. You could if you do it wrong. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. Like we talk about 10%. We tell people, and I don't mean to go into like I'm not doing your financial plan, okay? I'm just throwing you ideas of what to think about when you're looking at what you need to do with your money, right? Do you save 10%, right? Do you tithe 10%? Do you offer what percent? Okay, whatever that is. Because remember, tithe is not offering. Offering is not tithing. Offering is over and above tithing. Okay, this is the spiritual side of your financial situation. Now look, you know, long run, we want to get to heaven. This earth is just, it's going to pass away, man. What you do on this earth, you're going to present before our Father in heaven. And, you know, that, okay, I'm not going to get into theology or whatever, but you're going to be held to account. Like it's in the Bible, you'll be accountable for the things you do here. Okay? So are you doing these things? Are you accountable to these things in your life? What are you doing? See, when you think about all this, it comes down to this, doesn't it? Like, what are you doing to produce this? Because all this depends on this, okay? Now, are you doing this? Think about this. If your agency is producing $50,000 a month in overrides, and over time, you're going to see that, you know, this might be 12 grand in renewals, $1,000 in renewals over time, right? And then your renewals continue to grow year after year. What is that worth? 50,000 a month. Now let's just go, I'm sorry, a year. A month rocks, let me tell you. Let me tell you, it does. But let's just say, let's bring it down. 50,000 annually. 50,000 a year. What is that? What is that asset base worth? So what's 50,000 divided by 12? It's about 1,000 a week, right? It's 41, it's about 1,000 a week. 4,000, 4166 a month. So let's just make it again simple. I like to keep it simple. 4166 a month. Right? What kind of home would that be worth that you can rent out for 4166 a month? Is that like a $500,000 home? I know some of y'all live in areas where, you know, that would be $1 million home. But I mean, someone chat at me. What kind of home would that could you rent for 4166 a month that you own outright? You know, let's just say it's 500. Maybe 750. Let's just say 750. Lake house in Vegas. That's all I'm talking about, man. That would rock. Let's say it's 750,000. Do you know by creating an agency that's 50,000 a year, which is, you know, a small agency managership. You know, we're not talking anything crazy, really. We're talking maybe 20 agents that are doing something. So maybe this is like 20 agents doing anything. You got one good guy, you know, one good gal, two that are okay, and then the rest are doing, like, they turn in apps every other week. You know, 50,000 a year. Look at what you did. Look at the asset value, plus the renewals. The renewals on the overrides. You make overrides on their renewals. No other agency allows you to make overrides on your agents, downline agents' renewals. And when your agents quit, if they should quit, we don't want to quit, those renewals go back up to you, right? So everything you're doing to build this creates an asset that's worth this. That's like 50 grand. So you just like do 50 grand blocks. You do another 650 in California. Okay, whatever. Let's go lower, man. 650. I don't care what it is. So when you're doing 200,000 a year, What is this? This is 4x. What, 2.2 million? Do you see what you're doing? When you add more agents, when you build more people, your asset values just becomes huge, right? And so what I'm saying is, like, you could build an agency. Let's say it took you 3 years, 3 years to build an agency of 20 people to produce basically 1,000 a week in overrides. Actually, it won't take 20. I promise you, it won't take 20 people. I'm just being like crazy conservative. So what, 650 divided by 3. Okay, that's like saving. If you could put an asset together like that, that's like saving 217,000 a year. This, 3 years, 217K. Can you put 217,000 a year away? Or can you build an agency that does this in 3 years? Like, which is harder? Which will take more money? This will obviously take more money. 217,000 a year, or doing a stupid $156 ZipRecruiter ad to advertise in 5 cities. Then you'd find like 20 knuckleheads who decide this might be a good way to make money. Like, how it took Dave Henderson, what, a few weeks to get going? Another few weeks to start working? And I was lucky. Like, I didn't do anything special. I just found Dave Henderson looking for an opportunity, get him into our program, get him on a boot camp, get him some leads, get him jump started. He starts to figure this thing out. And by the grace of God, he decides to like start doing it. And I'm fired up, right? Just, I found him. There wasn't anything special I did. I'm like, you could have found him. You could have found Dave. Thank God I did. What are you doing to find a Dave Henderson? What are you doing? Because if you ain't doing it, you'll never do this, you'll never do this. So then I go back to, what kind of pressure do you want to put on your financial pyramid? Because then the pressure is here. Now you got to start socking more money away here if you don't do this, which means you got to do a bunch of this to catch up. The older you are, the less opportunity you have to compound your money. If you're 25, you might maybe are putting 500 a month into something like this. But if you're 55, you got to put like 3-4 grand a month in something that will equal some semblance of a retirement. So you're going to rely on Social Security? I hear you saying, well, I'll get Social Security. Okay, do you know you guys can log into Social Security and find out what the government's going to pay you when you retire? When you retire, you can log in and find that out. Okay, and then you tell me, can you live on $1,500 a month? Can you live on $1,500 a month? I've had people tell me, well, I just work till I die. Oh, Lord have mercy. See, here's the problem with work till you die, is that you'll be physically unable to work at some point where then you are living on Social Security. You're disabled, you can't take care of yourself. Then you got to get, Medicaid to come out and help you, which means your poverty level, your assets are gone. Then you let the government take care of you, right? I mean, paint a vision for what you want your future to be, okay? Again, it's this that makes everything possible. So what are you doing here to enhance this so that you can start doing all this? I'm not saying don't do this. I'm just saying, man, consider this because it takes all the pressure off this. like I said, can you put away $217,000 a year? If you want to, if you're in catch-up mode, if you are old and you have no time, like seriously, if you are old and you have no time, I'm old, I mean like your 50s, mid 40s to 50s, and you haven't done nothing, we have nothing, no savings, nothing except Social Security, the only way is play lottery tickets or do this. You have no choice but to do this and this. I don't think you could, if you do 40 appointments a week, the money you make here, I don't know that you can put enough money away. I mean, you have to do this. If you're not doing it yet, you're wasting time. Again, you don't need the time compounding that you need in these vehicles here, but you got to get around to this someday, sometime, if you decide you want to retire with any kind of financial dignity, or you're going to be living off depending on other people. Now that's okay to depend on other people. It's okay. I mean, if that's your plan, that's your plan. If that is your plan, then that, plan's good as any plan, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't got time, man. Like, seriously, it's tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. When are you going to start doing this? Because the alternative is doing this, and you have less time here. If you're 50s and you have nothing, you have to do this. But I'm saying if you're in your 20s, don't blow this off. You have to do this too, right? Oh my gosh, it takes so much less to do this than trying to save yourself to wealth. You will never save yourself to wealth. You'll save yourself to being somewhat comfortable just above, you may not be able to travel. You may not be able to, go visit your grandkids as much as you like because you don't got the money. You got to wait till they come visit you. Like, what is your vision for your retirement? I mean, I always see myself building and creating something, right? I don't ever see like really leaving this business. It's too much fun. I get paid to have fun, but whatever. People might think I'm screwed up, but I always want to create, I always want to build. I do see guitar making in my future though. I mean, I see myself building guitars, archtop jazz guitars, solid body, Les Paul style guitars. I really see myself doing that. Having all the woodworking tools and just making primo craftsman type guitars. Even, dreadnoughts and orchestra concert style, Martin style guitars too. I really see that in my future. But again, creating something, but I don't know, man. We already got our premium financing stuff in place. That's going to produce tax-free income, 400 grand a year of tax-free income's insane. Like when I think about it, what kind of asset would you need to produce 400,000 of income a year? Like if you're going to build a nest egg, which, the retirement number, what is the retirement number? So let's say, is it 400,000 divided by 0.05, 5%? 8 million? I have to have 8 million. Anyway. So like the financial pyramid is a real thing. This is a real thing. So building an agency, because, you can lose money, but if you do it wrong, you can lose money. This maybe hovers right in here. Okay. There's this element. Although the renewal income is down here for sure. So the risk part is you risking investing in agents you know, and chargebacks and all that. But if you're doing it properly, you bring in agents in, all that stuff is just part of cost of doing business, right? Again, this is in your control too. So maybe it's really here. It's in your control. And there's a lot of people that will help you, okay? So going back to, okay, I hope I'm not rambling. I hope this is making sense to you, is what are you doing here to feed the rest of your life, to feed your future? Because that's what we're talking about. This is your future, plus it's your present, because you'll be making this money. I mean, 50 grand a year is in your pocket today. But if you build your agent solid, it's like 50 grand that keeps coming in. And then you lay another 50 grand on top of that, find another 20 agents that are doing a little, some doing a lot, like a few doing a lot. It's another layer of 50 grand. Then you add another block in your agency, it's another layer. And then you get people that are duplicating you, that are putting their blocks of 50,000 income, their blocks of 50,000 income, 20 agent blocks. Then you got those people. So that compounds, that part, duplication compounds, right? Well, what are you going to do to get this started? And are you doing this? You know, it's the same question. Do you have an IUL in place? Do you have a Roth IRA got started? Do you have an emergency fund, right? Do you have those basics? Are you saving 10%? Are you tithing and offering? Are you building, investing in your agency? Are you building and investing in yourself to produce the income to do all the rest, right? This is that 40 appointments a week. You know, Dave Henderson's part-time, he's turning in what, 4 or 5, he did 4,000, 4,100 yesterday. After his talk yesterday, he went out and did 4,100 in premium, you know, and he's still got appointments. I don't know what he's going to do today, but, you know, whatever. Alex, why don't you have him on Andy's call? I don't know, man. I should, but maybe I will. Maybe when he sustains it. I don't want to throw anyone up there that's a fake, right? I'm not going to present anybody to Andy who's a fake. You know, they're here today, gone tomorrow. I don't want those one-hit wonders. I don't think Dave is, but I'm very reluctant. I mean, some people are quick to shove every Tom, Dick, and Harry agent that says something good. Oh, this is my top guy. You know, I'm just not down with that. Plus, I'm not big on, you know, God gives the reward, man gives the award, right? I know you should be motivated by trinkets and all those things. I'm motivated by God's reward, which is after this life's done. So, you know, anyway, hope that doesn't like put a downer on you. I want you guys to get your recognition, to get all the kudos and everyone cheering for you. I really do. I really do. I'm cheering for you. But I just don't want to put up a fake. I don't want to fake anyone out. You know, you got someone who's been edified for 6 months and all of a sudden, where'd they go? They're gone. Poof, you know? So maybe you got to be pretty solid before I'll even mention your name to Andy. But again, that's kind of my problem. Maybe I should probably edify more people. But again, I don't like those one-hit wonders, man. Just cracks me up. So anyway, is this making sense, man? Does anyone have any questions? What I'm trying to do, I guess, is fill your mind with, just because I've been in this retirement planning mode, is filling your mind with where you are on your financial pyramid, right? You know, where are you here? Where are you here? What are you doing that's in your control? Here, okay, growth opportunities, you're availing yourself of the market, which can be good, but also can be bad. I'm just saying, what can you control here in this yellow to build your life, to build your home, to build your family, to build a legacy, right? To build something that lasts, that's not on sand, but on rock, right? All right, so that's kind of what I have to share with you today on our builders call. Again, what I really want you to do is think. You got to remember I talked last time about thinking, things you got to, what's holding you back, the force field analysis thing. Now I want you to think about this. What is your future? What are you doing today for your future? See, the thing about a lot of these people that I've sat down with, the thing that, and they're later in life, the thing is they did not do what they should have done. But you got to sacrifice something today to get something in the future. So what are you sacrificing today? You have to make some hard choices. Are you going to have to sacrifice time and money to get a better future? Because that's how this works. That's how this works. You're going to have to sacrifice some income today to put into these things and to invest in your business so you can build something for the future. That's how it works. You reap what you sow. The thing about sowing and reaping is that when you sow the seed doesn't harvest right away. It's not next week. It's after the season of growing is done. And the work put in to growing the harvest, that's what we're talking about. The harvest always comes later from when you plant the seed. And the harvest is always going to be the seed after the seed that you planted. Time, money, and emotion. You invest good seed with effective time and positive emotion, your harvest is going to be what you put into it. It's going to be positive. It's going to be growth, and it's going to be sustaining 60, 80, 100-fold. You know what I'm saying? So anyway.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah.
I have a question, kind of a down the road kind of question. When you become partner, do you still get your renewals?
No.
So okay.
It's part of your profitability. Integrity buys all that from you.
Right. Okay.
And they trade you a lot of money for that. Right? Yeah. You know, maybe 5, 7x of your total profitability.
Okay.
So to me, that's a worthwhile trade-off because you get the money up front and you get the stock. So, you know, you trade your renewals for the stock in the company so when they go public.
Sure.
So anyway.
All right.
So I'm not even talking about that part. That part's kind of the frosting on the cake.
Yeah.
It's like, so like, Bruce, what are you doing here? Bruce, what are you doing here? Scott, what are you doing here? Scott, what are you doing here? Dave, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Todd, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? I mean, like, you don't have to tell me. I almost really don't want to know. I just want to know that you have a plan, you've thought about it, and this is what you're going to do. Okay, Alex, I need 40 leads a week. I need 30 leads a week. Okay, to do this, to get to where I'm booking 40 appointments a week. And then the income from there, you're going to tell me by telling me, hey, Alex, I need 5 slots, like Michael Jacobs. I need 5 slots, 5 times 156. I need 5 slots, which gives me 25 cities that I'm recruiting in. So that just tells me that you're serious about building and recruiting, okay? You're taking action, you're putting in the things in place. Well, I'll get around to it once I get this down. Bro, do you know that you can get this down like next week? Get some leads, man. I mean, seriously, it's there for you if you're willing to hit the phones. MailPro leads. MailPro leads are Google ad leads. People are killing it on them from what I'm hearing. $8. There are some places that agents are wiping out. Like seriously, if you, like in Charlotte, Mia Fennell just wiped out MailPro. It's part of her investment, $8 leads, right? Or get, leads Dave's investing in. And there's that lead source. I'm a wholesale lead source I am working my butt off on trying to develop. That's $4 to $8. I'm this close. This freaking close. But you can turn this around tomorrow. You can start building your agency tomorrow. Like, what are you waiting for? You're not getting any younger, Bo. You're gonna wait tomorrow? That's another day gone. You're gonna wait next week? That's another week gone. You're gonna wait next month? That's another month gone, man. You've been living your life, blowing it off, and now you're gonna tell me you're gonna blow it off again? It's like, man, nothing I've said has sunk in. Nothing I've said has sunk in. Get off your butt.
Me, only thing I could say, Alan, is thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Quinn, I know you got some leads, so you better be dialing them. And we're here to help you. Me and Juan are going to help you.
I know. All I can say is thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You gave me goosebumps, Quinn. So thank you for receiving the message. Man, I prayed over this. I said, Lord, before I started this talk, I said, okay, Lord, fill my mouth up because I don't have this totally prepared in my head. So anyway, I think it probably was the tithing and offering part that he wanted me to get out there. All right, gang. God bless you, man. I am for you 100%. I am going to do whatever I need to do, what I can do. And I'm praying for you already. So I got the prayer part down. But just like, let's get in motion, let's get rocking, let's get rolling. And you can't wait another day. Today's gospel is about the 10 virgins that were waiting for the bridegroom to come, right? And so 5 of them didn't bring oil flasks and the other 5 did. And so the master didn't come around until midnight. And so they got up and they got all gussied up, and I don't know how they like received the bridegroom, but they were going to go out, and the 5 that didn't have their flasks said, hey, why don't you give us some of yours? And then the one said, no, because there's not enough for you and me. Why don't you go to the market and go buy some, right? And then we're going to go do our thing because we were ready. So they went to the market to buy some. The bridegroom came. The other 5 virgins were entered into the wedding, whatever, banquet place. I mean, this is midnight, right? I don't know. They went into the castle. They went into whatever. They shut the door. The other 5 virgins came in, knocking on the door. Hey, Lord, hey, we're here. We're here. We just sorry we weren't ready. We had to go get oil, and we had to now we're ready. We got our lamps are lit. I do not know you. Go away. I do not know you. Go away. That was the gospel today. So which one are you going to be? The one that was prepared, the one that was ready, the one that was smart enough to put oil in their flask and bring the flask with them? Is your oil flask full? Are you ready when the bridegroom comes? Know what I'm saying? Anyway, rock on. I had to throw that last part in. Take care. God bless everybody.